Thank you for watching. Today I want to talk about innocence. 3 things in particular: the importance of protecting innocence, how it's undermined in today's society, and how to counteract the ways that it's undermined. And this is mostly innocence in children, but that innocence that we foster as children kind of resides with us throughout our lives. And that leads us off with why it's important is so that as we become adults, that we can remember innocence, that we have a connection to innocence. One way that helps them is that they have a connection to themselves being innocent. So for example, if a child started drinking really early, or you have a child that was unfortunately sexually assaulted or something like that, or even physically assaulted, if a child experiences this when they're little, 5, 6, 7, then that's around the time where they first start forming memories. So in their minds, this is what they know since they were able to remember. So in that way, innocence is kind of lost with that child. That's why a lot of people, if they start drinking young or smoking young, if they experience different types of assaults while they're young, while those issues kind of reoccur throughout their life and kind of manifest in destructive ways, because in their mind, that's all they know. You see other people that aren't afflicted with some of this trauma, so that can make you feel, you feel different. You feel like an outsider. You feel maybe that something could be wrong with you. You might even succumb to it and just feel like that's a part of you, and not necessarily seek to grow and elevate yourself beyond those circumstances or beyond that affliction. It's widely known that a lot of adult issues stem from childhood trauma. So it's important to protect innocence, especially in children, because it allows them to know themselves as innocent. You have to be innocent until proven guilty. If you're always treated as guilty or felt guilty, then you don't have that supposition of innocence. What is innocence? Innocence is a mind devoid of demons. Innocence is a mind as free of demons, as free of trauma as possible. And that's in line with the good choice, because as we evolve cognitively, we grow closer to God. And the more we can shed our minds of trauma and demons that afflict us, then the easier it is for us to grow closer to God. The easier it is for us to receive His wisdom, because you don't have these battles. Because when there's demons there, you have to battle them. That's if you're to be in alignment with God. Some people kick it with the demons. Some people invite them in. I'm pretty sure everybody's been, for the most part, guilty of that. I've been guilty of that, of getting too comfortable with the demons. But then you lose your innocence. So you have to shed those demons to reclaim your innocence. Innocence, the God code implemented to keep our minds free and clear of trauma and demons. And that's something that you're born with. Those are things that you have to gain. The trauma and the demons, those are things that you gain from this world. You're born innocent, but throughout your life, because this is an imperfect world, you get demons and trauma attached to you. So our job is to minimize that for kids. It's just the same way you take care of your body. That's a part of taking care of your mind, is maintaining your innocence. Of course, we have to be adults and take care of adult things, but you have to maintain some of your God-given innocence and just things that keep us alive, keep us healthy and feeling young, and maintaining our innocence is part of that. Just keeps the channel open, because demons and trauma are distractions, which is why The media is distractions. That's why they put all that stuff in the media, because it's distractions. It's distracting you from being a better version of yourself. It's distracting you from growing and evolving to the point where you can combat these demons that want to use you for monetary gain or fame or whatever thing that demons want. Yeah, media is a way to undermine your innocence, to introduce trauma and demons into your psyche that you'll either invite in, which is what they want, because once you invite the demons in, you're no longer a threat to the demons, or to evil, should I say. Like, you know what I mean when I say demons? You know, it's kind of weird. Like, if you talk about a scary movie, demons and all that, it's okay because it's supposedly fake. But if you speak about demons in like a real life setting, like, no, it's all the same. It's all the same. Movies are just thoughts that people put pictures to. That's just entertainment. That's distraction, actually. That's a distraction more than it is an attack. But distractions work the same way. But another thing I think is kind of overlooked as far as trauma playing out through the media is the trend of sharing videos and like fight videos and, you know, all these atrocities that happen, and the videos just get shared on the internet so much. You know, if something happens right in front of you, it can be pretty traumatizing. The next most traumatizing thing is to watch that thing happening. Not showing it doesn't stop it from happening, but it at least limits the trauma that it inflicts on humanity. The people that were there are already going to be traumatized enough. You don't need to relay that trauma to everybody. It's just like with police cameras, when they release the footage and all this. You know, that's passing on the trauma to other people online. You know, sharing videos of tragic things that happen. It doesn't stop the thing from happening, but it at least eliminates the trauma that's inflicted on more people. You know, fear grows as well. Because we're higher thinking beings, you know, passing that type of material is in a way passing along trauma. Trauma inflicts demons in a way that you have to fight them in order to be able to elevate your mind to know God. Distraction, it just kind of takes you off the path, right? So trauma is like a log in the road. A big tree falls into the road. Oh, so now you got to deal with this. You got to deal with this to continue on your way. And even though it takes time, you can still get back on that path. You can still get through that. Distractions work. You know, oh, you're on this path, but then you see something over there. You know, the biggest cookie shop in the world or something. I don't know, some shop they got the biggest cookies in the world, or some strip club or something, or some whatever, some distraction that's going to get you off your path. So media works either as a distraction to get you off your path and introduce these blockages to your enlightenment, or they work as trauma. You know, when you're seeing somebody get shot or something, or beat up, like that can be traumatic. And then everybody's gonna have trauma come their way in their life. So instead of piling on, you know, we gotta empower our minds to be able to deal with the trauma that will naturally come our way, and not pile on more trauma. So at some point, there's gonna be too many logs on that road for you to make it through. You're on that path where you gotta work extra hard. Like you got way more to clear through than maybe somebody else that has less trauma or less distractions. So using that example, you know, if you've always stopped for the cookie shop or the strip club since you were a kid, then that's what you know. Okay, we always stop. We stop for cookies. We stop for the strip club. That's what we do. But if you're taught that those things are distractions because you need to stay on this path to get, you know, to a certain place, then you know, like it's understood in your psyche, even as a kid, it's established, the foundation establishes that when I see those things, there are going to be distractions keeping me off that road. You know, when you learn, you know, how to get through it as a kid, so hopefully with like your family or whoever is your guardian or whoever is looking out for you, then you know, like on your path, things are going to get in the way. It's happened before. We got through it, and we continue on the path. Now, if you don't have that experience, where, you know, if you're on that path, a tree falls, and then you just stop right there. Like if that's what's happening as a kid, you're not working through that blockade or that trauma. Then that's what you do with blockades. You don't necessarily seek to overcome them. You might not even know you can overcome them. But that's why God has encoded innocence into our existence, is to keep our path to Him clear. So we have to work to keep our path to God clear. And we do that through maintaining our innocence. You know, even with laws, you're innocent until proven guilty. So maintaining your innocence is not breaking any of the laws, not breaking any of the commandments, God's commandments. Innocence just helps us to find God easier, you know, because everything connects. Like I've told you, like life seeks to evolve, but it wants to persist as well, and it wants to do so more easily. So through our cognitive evolution, we evolve, and in that evolution, we need to have innocence of mind, and that innocence keeps that path clear so that we can continue to evolve. And that kind of ties into my last video, growth, when I talked about how fear and cowardice can stop us from evolving based off of lack of hope and lack of courage. Hope is encoded so that a cognitive mind can persist, and courage is encoded so that a cognitive mind can evolve. Innocence keeps the path for that evolution clear of debris, clear of trauma, clear of distractions. Drinking, for the most part, can be a distraction. I know it's a distraction for a lot of people. That's not everybody, but that's where self-reflection comes in. Like I stopped drinking. I don't really drink anymore. I might have some wine here and there, but I don't drink anymore because it was doing more. It wasn't allowing me to evolve as a person. It was keeping me stunted. You know, I had to realize that, you know, we all make errors, but we just have to learn from them. So drinking, you know, drinking and pornography and too much TV or eating too much, like those can all be distractions on your road to evolution. And then, unfortunately, trauma can be inflicted through those channels as well. So it's just something to be mindful of as we look to maintain our innocence so that we can evolve more freely, and also relay that innocence to our kids. The more innocent that we are, it's good for the next generation, because we can not only be example, but we can be a beacon of innocence in adulthood. And as innocent adults, we are less likely to inflict trauma and distractions on our kids, which will allow them to maintain their innocence into their adulthood. Because if you think kids are going to be adults, people are going to be adults way longer than their kids, God willing. So yes, we have to let them enjoy their childhood, but we do have to, mostly with the mind. Like it's, you know, kids need to play and experience kid things, but they don't necessarily need their thinking stunted. Like they don't have to think like a kid if they don't want to. Some kids don't want to think like a kid. They want to find things out. They want to know. They want to experience. That should be fostered. That should be watered and nurtured, you know, in the realm of maintaining their innocence. Because once innocence is lost, and nobody's going to be innocent forever their whole lives, but kids, there's levels to everything. There's levels to it. There's levels to comprehension. So an adult can process trauma and extrapolate data from that trauma differently than a kid because they have more experience, they know more. A kid doesn't know as much, so they don't have as many points of reference and as much data to draw from. So that's why it's more important to protect their innocence. And also, where there's fear, there's no God. So, but when fear is spread, as opposed to knowledge or information, that's not God spreading that. So that's something to be mindful of. If I say anything in the video or if I refer to a different video, I probably explained it in better detail in the other video. So if you want to go watch that, I have a whole God code playlist where it's a philosophical argument that God is the architect of our existence. That's one half of it. God is the architect of our existence. So he's encoded us with innocence and hope and courage and love and understanding. Those are different aspects that I'll break down, like how it's encoded into our existence. And then the other half is how society looks to undermine God code. Because unfortunately, you have the good choice and you do have the bad choice. There's people that make the bad choice. So we have to know who they are. You have to know your enemy in order to fight your enemy. So we have to know who our enemy is. We have to understand our enemy and how they move, because they're coming for your kids. Like, they're not gonna, unfortunately, most adults are already trapped in the system. So they're not gonna really come for you unless you start pushing back against the system. But they're gonna come for your kids because they want them to be trapped into the system too. So even if you feel like you can't break out the system, you can at least prepare your kids and teach your kids so that they are free thinking individuals and aren't just a cog in a machine that don't care about them. And that comes through the good choice. With God's wisdom, He will let us know who is our enemy and who is our ally. And ultimately that will help us on our path of evolution. Thank you for watching. I really hope you learned something. If you did, leave it down in the comment. If you have something to add, leave it down in the comment. I always appreciate whoever may be watching my videos, and I will see you in the next one.